it's Casey. I have quite an exciting video today as it's been quite a while since I've actually done a food review. I just haven't been eating out as much, or I typically eat the same things because I tend to be quite picky and I don't eat any red meat. So I try not to eat any red meat, sometimes even chicken and any poultry. But either way, my options are somewhat limited sometimes. So either way, as you can see from the title, I'm finally doing a food review. And I've just been really into popcorn lately. I don't know why. I went to the movie theaters a month or two ago, and ever since I remembered how much I love popcorn. So either way, I've already ate some of these, and so the two popcorns I'm trying are Magi Planet, Magi, everything is possible. And so I think they sell these at the movie theaters as well in Taiwan, but either way. And I saw another one last night called Pop Smile. So what's interesting about these popcorns are they are totally different flavors. All of these are made in Taiwan, I believe. I found these two at Cosmed, ironically, which is sort of like a makeup drugstore. By the way, I found these at Cosmed, and these were like add-on items. They were like 59 NT per bag, which is a little bit pricey. It's like $2. It doesn't say how much product you get in here, but it's not a whole lot. I did eat quite a few. So first of all, with these ones, it says it's handmade, no preservatives, non-GMO, corn kernels, and creative flavors. That is very true. And this one I found at 7-Eleven. I believe it was like, oh, it says on the back. So 7-Eleven will always mark the pricing on their packaging. It was 55 NT, I believe. And so what's so interesting about these ones, this one's from Pop Smile. And this one is also, I believe, made in Taiwan. Yes, this was also manufactured in Taiwan. It doesn't say anything about non-GMO and things like that. So let's talk very quickly what's so interesting about these popcorn flavors. Now, one of these is something we're familiar with. It's sort of like Cracker Jack. Was that what it was called? This one's just a regular caramel flavored, caramel, whatever you want to call it, caramel flavored popcorn. This is a typical one. I think everyone likes caramel popcorn. I prefer savory, like buttery popcorn, just plain and simple. But either way, there's caramel popcorn. But this one was called Yumi Nongtang, which means like corn soup, creamy corn soup. So if you come to Taiwan and you go to McDonald's, you're gonna find cream corn soup. I actually don't know if we had that in the States. It was never my thing. But either way, they had cream corn soup, which is, I think, I remember BuzzFeed saying it was only found in Taiwan. And it's corn flavor, obviously, but a little bit sweet. So I'm not the biggest fan of creamed corn soup, if you translate it as that. But as a popcorn, it's actually not bad. So I'm going to review very quickly, the best as I can, the flavor. And I haven't tried this one yet. This one is, as you can see, this one is bubble tea flavor. And you can see in the back right here, I think this one is like the Boba flavor, and this is milk tea flavor. It's so bizarre. I don't know why they would do that. And sadly, like the Boba flavor are on the bottom, and then the milk tea flavor is on top. So we'll see how that goes. But let's just talk very quickly about the caramel one first. I remember as a kid, or even as an adult, who am I kidding? I would have Cracker Jack, and I remember getting the little prize and things like that, and it was great. So in here they do have a silica packet, so be aware of that. But it is all non-GMO and things like that, which is nice. Actually, I think it's 40 grams of product, and it's 197.7 calories for one serving, I believe. And I believe the whole bag is 494.3 calories. So not something you want to use to diet with, but you can see the little corn kernels. They're actually quite big. And I think all of them are popped, so. I would say, I don't remember Cracker Jack too well anymore since it's been years since I've had it. But this one is extremely buttery. So despite the caramel flavor, it's not as sweet I would say compared to Cracker Jack, from what I remember. I remember Cracker Jack was a lot sweeter in comparison, but delicious nonetheless. This one's a little bit even more buttery, which I actually like a lot. In terms of the price, it's definitely a lot more pricey than Cracker Jack, I remember. And I remember during Christmas, you could get those big metal tins of caramel popcorn. That was amazing, but probably not good for my health. But either way, the one you're probably all awaiting is the cream corn popcorn. So, I mean, it looks the same. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but when I smell it, I don't have a very strong sense of smell, just because if you've seen my other videos, I talk about it a lot, is I had sinus surgery as a kid and it's affected my sense of smell a lot. So my sense of smell is pretty weak. By the way, the bag smells sort of, well, obviously like corn, but I want to say there's like a oniony oniony smell to it. So what is so bizarre is it tastes 100% like the McDonald's cream corn soup, which I'm not a huge fan of, because I think it, with the texture of it being so thick and soupy, I don't like it being corn tasting, but also a little bit sweet. So I actually don't like the texture of the soup at McDonald's. I just don't like it. I'm a very picky eater. But in taste of popcorn, I actually like it more for popcorn. So it reminds me a lot of like how it's just popcorn but with the seasoning powder on top, and the powder reminds me of, if you remember, what is it, Ann's pretzels, and you just get a plain pretzel with the garlic, I think it was like garlic powder or something, I forget the exact flavor, but it just reminds me of that strong powdery flavor and smell and things like that. So it actually reminds me of Ann's pretzels. So I actually like this one because it reminds me of that. So pretty good. There is, you taste the corn initially, and as you know, you're starting to swallow it, it gets a little bit sweeter, just like the creamed corn soup. So in popcorn form, I actually like the popcorn form more than the actual soup form. I don't know, but I haven't had the creamed corn soup in a long time. I only had it once. So the most interesting one is probably the Boba one. I was very skeptical on buying this because I feel like it's just not going to taste good. But they have great packaging because it's really hard to break into. So, oh, I got it. Oh, okay, so it is mixed inside. So it looked like they put the boba ones on the bottom and the milk teas ones on top, but I actually do see. So it's very obvious which one are the milk tea one and the boba. So obviously we'll get the milk tea ones first because that's typically what we taste first. I don't know if I like that. So they coat it obviously in this milk tea flavored syrup, I guess, and it tastes sort of like watered down caramel in a way, but with a subtle kick of tea at the very end. So I could see why they call it milk tea flavor, but I don't know if they put too much syrup or something, so it tastes a little bit waxy. I don't hate it. I'll still eat it, but it's not, I could taste the milk tea, but it tastes like artificial milk tea. So if you remember, I think it was Japan, well, obviously Japan, they released like a clear milk tea drink, and I did take a sip of that from my friends, and it tasted to me like milk tea, but artificial. So this is kind of what it reminds me of right now, is it tastes like artificial, powdery, almost plasticky milk tea. Not a huge fan. I'm still going to eat it because I don't want to waste the food, but here's to the boba flavor. You know what? It doesn't really taste like boba. I think creating the taste of boba will be an exceptional job if they can make it taste exactly like boba. I could see why there's a subtle hint of boba, but the flavor is just a little off. And I didn't expect them to taste exactly like boba. How I would describe it, it's really hard to describe this taste because it's I'm trying to think of that candy it reminds me of. I can't remember that candy we used to get as a kid. It looked like a soft, chewy chocolate. It's not taffy. I'm going to look it up. I finally remember what it's called. I think I remember it kind of reminds me of a chocolate taffy or a Tootsie Roll. Probably more like a chocolate taffy. But the aftertaste reminds me of a Tootsie Roll. I haven't had a Tootsie Roll since I was a kid in the 90s. So I don't remember, but it reminds me of Halloween candy like the Tootsie Roll. So would I recommend this one? I think it doesn't taste great. I think it's very artificial tasting. So, but if you want the novelty of it or Instagram moment, yeah, this would be a good one to take. But what I would probably recommend are these two flavors. Caramel, obviously caramel is probably the safest option because this one tastes super buttery, which I really like. But this one is really interesting. It's very Taiwanese flavor, I feel. So I think you should go to McDonald's, try the cream corn soup, and then try this. They actually taste extremely similar. So good job for Magi Planet. But Pop Smile, I'm just not sure about this bubble tea flavor. I think it's a novelty kind of a thing. But stick to caramel popcorn, I think, ultimately in the end. But for 55 NT, something less than $2, why not? Give it a try. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that quick food review that I got at 7-Eleven and Cosmed. I really enjoyed doing food reviews. It's just I haven't done one in a while. So if you actually see something from Taiwan that you want me to review food-wise or anything like that, let me know down below. Tell me what you think about the video, and I'll see you all later. Bye!